What I like about Donald Trump, he cuts right through the bullshit. He cuts right to the issues. Somebody needs to take charge. Somebody needs to lead this country. Somebody needs to rescue civilization. Leave it to women. We'll be living in mud huts in about a year or two. Dr. Warren Farrell was one of the leading members on the board of NOW, National Organization for Women, originally the most powerful and pervasive feminist organization in America. And he talked about women and women's rights and all that, and he filled big halls. 90% of the people in attendance were women, or what passes for women, feminists, hardcore feminazis, shall we say. Let's call it what it is. I don't mince words. One of the appeals of J. Donald Trump, even if you don't like him, I happen to be a supporter, strong supporter, because I defend our culture. But 90% of those women in there, why am I bringing up Donald Trump? Because he says it as it is. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Probably the closest thing to a libertarian, with a caveat. Most of you don't even know what that is, but do your research. It's important. What I like about Donald Trump, he cuts right through the bullshit. He cuts right to the issues. Do you remember the analogy of Alexander the Great? What's his greatest thing? The Gordian knot. The Gordian knot tied a cart to a horse or whatever. And this was a riddle. The challenge was to separate these two things. Make a decision, is a metaphor. Now, everybody before him had failed. They tried to untangle this web, this Gordian knot that was like bands of leather that had accumulated over decades, if not centuries. That's the content. The context was, the job was just to separate the two. So what does Alexander do? We all know what he did. He took a sword, made a decision, cessation, cutting this from that. He said, you can't do that. He said, watch me, I just did. That's what you need to do in society. You need to cut through all the bullshit, try to stop and defend yourself, explain yourself, argue with people. That's all get marred down to the content. When it's all about the context, and the context is somebody needs to take charge, somebody needs to lead this country, somebody needs to rescue civilization. Leave it to women. We'll be living in mud huts in about a year or two. Not because women are bad or incompetent, it's just not what they do. Women follow men. They're hardwired to do so. And if they turn bitchy, it's because you abdicated, you gave away your power. Nature abhors a vacuum. It abhors a power vacuum. And if you abdicate your throne, well, then you force a woman to be a man. They'll hate you for it, even though they don't understand the mechanisms behind it. Okay, so back to Dr. Warren Farrell. He filled these concert halls, hundreds if not thousands of people, of which 90% were hardcore radical feminazis, and about 10% men, and I'm using the dreaded air quotes here because they really weren't men. They were hubbies that they drug along for the ride, and they just went there just because they figured, well, if I don't go to this event now, I'm not getting any pussy tonight. And most men are beholden to pussy. Pussy power. Pussy power. You see t-shirts, young girls in their teens, bitch and proud of it. Power of the pussy. How much power does a pussy have in my life over me? Exactly as much as I give her, and not an iota more. Am I a hardcore hard ass? Am I a blowhard? You may think so, but I've put it to the test. And I've said to hardcore feminazis, look into my eyes, you think I'm joking? I said the same thing to 300-pound guys that wanted to challenge me. Yes, they could probably kill me, but it would cost them. I said, you want to challenge me to a fight? I'm only 210 right now. I'm in relatively good shape for a 30-year-old, even though I'm twice that age. If you want to go home tonight, think twice. You'll probably win. You're here to win. I'm here to end it. I'm here to end you. And if you think I'm joking, look into my eyes. Tell me I'm joking. Tell me you want to find out the hard way that you want to win this fight. Because I'm going to not win it. I'm going to end it one way or the other. And if it's over your dead body, so freaking be it. I'm not the hardcore guy that many people project to be. I'm not. I'm just very, very clear. I have no doubt about who I am, what I do, what my purpose is, and I'm going home tonight. And if it's the last thing I do, or if I die trying. So if men really have all that power, how come they're the first to die? How come they're outlived by women by 7 whatever years? It's in flux. We don't know how it changes, but it's interesting.